Racist cop slaps pregnant FBI agent at checkpoint, and this happened. It was a quiet evening, the kind where most people just wanted to get home. The air was still, and the soft glow of streetlights illuminated a routine checkpoint manned by local police. Cars moved along in slow procession, their headlights cutting through the dusk. For most officers, it was an ordinary shift, but for one particular cop, this night was anything but routine. Officer Blake, as we'll call him, had a reputation, one he thought his badge could shield. Among his colleagues, he was known for his short temper and questionable treatment of certain individuals. Blake thrived on confrontation, and that evening, his sharp eyes locked onto an older sedan approaching the checkpoint. Behind the wheel was a woman in a flowing gown, her demeanor calm and composed. But as soon as Blake saw her, his expression changed. He didn't see just another driver. He saw an opportunity. As the car rolled to a stop, Blake motioned impatiently for the driver to lower her window. She complied, offering a polite smile. His tone, however, was anything but polite. "License and registration," he barked, skipping any pleasantries. The woman calmly handed over her documents, speaking in a steady, professional voice. "Officer, I'm with the FBI. Here's my identification." She opened her wallet, clearly displaying her federal badge. Blake barely glanced at it before smirking. "Sure you are," he replied with mocking sarcasm. "And I'm the President of the United States?" He dismissed her badge with a wave, treating it as if it were a cheap counterfeit. Remaining composed, the woman tried again. "Officer, I am a federal agent on official business. I'd appreciate it if you allowed me to pass." But Blake wasn't interested in listening. "Lady," he snapped, "you're not above the law just because you cooked up some story. Step out of the car." Tension filled the air. Nearby officers began to glance over, sensing the situation escalating. "I'm pregnant," the woman stated firmly. "I'll step out if you insist, but you're making a serious mistake." Blake's eyes narrowed. To him, her calmness wasn't professionalism, it was defiance. "I said out," he barked, yanking at the car door. Reluctantly, she stepped out, one hand resting protectively on her stomach. "Officer," she said again, her voice unwavering, "if you'll check my badge." But before she could finish, Blake, visibly frustrated, raised his hand and slapped her. The sound echoed through the checkpoint, freezing everyone in place. The woman stumbled but quickly steadied herself, shock and disbelief written on her face. Her hand instinctively went to her cheek. Then, in the same calm tone she'd used all along, she said, "You've just assaulted a federal officer." Blake froze, his face draining of color. His colleagues stood paralyzed, unsure how to react. Straightening, the woman pulled her phone from her pocket. "This is Special Agent Taylor," she said into the receiver, her voice firm but steady. "I need immediate backup at my location. I've been assaulted by a local officer." Within minutes, unmarked cars arrived, their presence commanding. Federal agents stepped out, transforming the scene. Blake's arrogance evaporated as he realized the gravity of his actions. One agent approached Taylor, assessing her condition before turning to Blake. "Officer," the agent said coldly, "you're under investigation for assaulting a federal agent. Hand over your badge and weapon." Blake stammered, trying to explain, but his words fell flat. His colleagues, now distancing themselves from him, watched in silence as he was led away in handcuffs. Taylor declined medical attention, insisting she was fine. Later, in an official statement, she said, "This incident highlights the urgent need for accountability in law enforcement. No one is above the law, not even those who enforce it." The fallout was swift. Public outrage grew as news outlets picked up the story. Within 48 hours, Blake was fired, and legal proceedings ensured he would never wear a badge again. But Taylor didn't let the incident define her. Instead, she used it as a platform to advocate for reform, equality, and respect within law enforcement. Her story sparked national conversations, a rallying cry for justice and change. As for Blake, His name became a cautionary tale, a reminder that abuse of power comes with consequences. Because in the end, justice isn't just a word, it's a promise. A promise that no one, no matter their position, is above accountability.